Welcome to the super duper training on how to get residency in the UAE, which is Dubai, and Paraguay, and Mexico, and Armenia. I'm going to cover all four countries in one gigantic training. I've never done this. Holy shit. I'm going to blow your mind. And at the end, I will talk about if you want us to do this for you, because all four of our Get Residency events are now open for enrollment. We have dates for all these things now. I will cover that at the end of this massive, beautiful training that will just change your life completely. It's wonderful. Those of you who are live, if you could, as people file in here, if you could put the number 2 in the chat, which indicates you can both see me and hear me, that'd be great. I will start with the content in a few minutes. Until then, I will just shoot the shit and talk about whatever for a few minutes, and then we'll get into the good stuff. When Uruguay, I will address Uruguay. I will address Uruguay. Yes, I see 2s. Thank you. Awesome. Great. Thank you. Great. Cool. Wonderful. What should we talk about for the next few minutes? So I'm in Guadalajara, Mexico right now. I fly back to Dubai on Sunday. I am talking to realtors right now about getting my new apartment in Paraguay. If you didn't know, Pink Firefly is going to stay in the United States for a few months because she misses the U.S. Don't ask me why, but she misses the U.S. So I will be without my wife for the next few months, which is very sad. I will miss her. However, on the other side, that means I will have no wife for the next few months, and I will have no travel for the next few months because this is the season where I like to stay in Dubai because that's when Dubai's weather is awesome. So I have no wife and no travel for the next several months, which means I'm going to put my head down and I'm going to work. And I am so excited. My heart is beating. It's been beating for several days now. I've had a really good few weeks. It's been great. It's nice to be back to normal for me, meaning happy and exciting every day. And so, moreover, was talking to, as I check here, I got to check the technology how we're going here. Mongolian, you're in Dubai? Cool. I'll be in Dubai next week. I have a number of advisors, 2 in particular, who are guys who have built much bigger companies than mine, make a lot more money than me. And I was talking to them recently, and I said, okay, look, and these guys are straight shooters, no bullshit, so I can trust them. If I'm stupid, they tell me. And I said, okay, here's what I want to do. And I as many of you know, when I hit 54, I go into the next phase of my life where I will not work for money. I will work just because I want to work. And I work based on whatever I want to do and whenever I want to do it, just the next phase of my life. But not yet. I am still in the make money mode. I'm here for the cash. So I am 51 years old, 51 and a half. That means I have 2.5 years. So that means there are certain benchmarks I need to hit my financial life in the next 2.5 years. I'm close, but so, and I've jacked those up. And so these 2 advisors separately, they don't know each other. I handed them everything. I said, okay, here are my financials. Here are the assets I have in place. Here's the banking I have in place. Here are the teams I have in place. Here's the existing, customer base I have in place. What I want to do is take these companies and go to blank. And I give them some big numbers measured in the millions and millions of dollars. And I said, I want this in the next 2.5 years. Because that's when before I hit 54, not when I'm 54, before I hit 54. And I said, I want you to tell me if that's bullshit, if you think it's doable, I want your honest opinion on this. And both of them said, like, Caleb, you could do this in 1.5 years. You hit this hard, don't make any big mistakes. You could do this in a year. I'm like, that's right, God damn it. Can you feel it? Good stuff. Okay. Let's see. Let's answer some questions before we get rocking and rolling here. I'll start in another few minutes. Hang on. Yes, we will address Uruguay. How are you, Caleb? I'm in Dubai now. Cool. Can we meet next week? No, we cannot meet next week. I'm very expensive for coaching. I apologize. I'm too busy. Do you do one next year for Armenia? We're doing everything. I'm going to give you dates. We're doing everything now. Everything. Me and my team spent the last week and a half planning out, 2 weeks really, planning out the entire next 18 months of events. So this is the time I'm going to show you. I'll get to all that stuff. How easy is Armenian residency? You have to pay. I'll talk about that in detail. It's an extra $6,000. That's the problem, but it is literally the easiest residency of all of them. It is the easiest residency in the world right now. But it's a little more expensive. You get what you pay for, right? So you got to pay $6,000. You get 10% equity in an Armenian corporation, which you may never get back. I'll cover that. And then you get your residency in like 24 days. And all you need is your passport, and that's it. No residency is easy. Go through the process, but it's the easiest one in the world right now. Will you help get residency in SEA countries who like in that area? No, I will not. I focus on the top 4, soon to be top 5 easiest residencies in the world to get, and none of those, unfortunately, are in Southeast Asia. I am not nomad capitalist. I'm not going to cover the whole planet. I follow my own advice. I niche. If you want the whole planet, you have to go to Andrew Henderson, and he'll charge you $100,000. I'm sorry. So do your own research. I focus on the top 4, soon to be top 5. Paraguay, just top, and that's it. And we're going to focus 100% on those because I want you to get from 0 the results as quickly as possible to the audience as the widest audience that wants easy residency. Southeast Asia is awesome. I'm going to be there next year in 2024. I will be there. So, but residency is a little more complex than the countries that I talk about. What sets Paraguay residency apart from in Latam countries like Chile or Mexico? Well, one thing is you get Mercosur visa-free travel. You don't get that with Mexico, right? And I have Mexico residency permanent. I have permanent residency in Dubai. Excuse me. So many countries. I'm getting old. I have permanent residency in Paraguay. I have soon-to-be permanent residency in Mexico. And so I have both, but that's how it's different. All right. Let's get started. So if you have questions as we go along, please do, and I will answer them at the end of the Q&A. Cool? Cool. All right. Should we get started here? How are we doing on that? Yeah, let's get started. We got enough people. All right. Hang on. Okay. I need to rewind this. You need another residency. Residency in other countries used to be an option. Back when the Western world was doing fine. Having residency in a foreign country was an option, a fun little extra thing. Yeah. Today, you need it. Some level of international backup plan is now required in the collapsing Western civilization in which we live. The collapsing trifecta. America is collapsing. Canada is collapsing. Europe, especially Western Europe, a lot of Eastern Europe, is collapsing. Australia and New Zealand may or may not be collapsing, but they're not going to do any better than doing now. This is the best it's going to get over there. You need residencies if you want to be long-term stable, long-term secure, long-term happy. They are requirements now, unfortunately. Why? Why do you do that? Well, I'll tell you why. When you have a second residency, now we're talking about residency or not passports. So I'm not talking about getting 14 passports like Jason Bourne. I'm working on that too, but that's more complex, more expensive, takes more time. We're talking about residency here, which is much easier getting a passport, especially with the 4 countries, 4.5 that we're going to talk about in a minute. Okay. So when you have another residency besides the country which you happen to have been born in, which you think is perfect, my country is awesome because I happen to have been born in this country. No, that's not how that works. That's irrationality. Number 1, you have somewhere to go in case of economic collapse, which is coming. You people who live in California, you people who live in the United States, and no, as I've talked about, moving to Texas and Florida isn't going to save you long term. Short term, sure. Long term, no. Canada, UK, okay. If you have somewhere to go in case the economy gets really, really horrible in your country. Number 2, you have somewhere to go in case you have another pandemic, which, as I've said, is coming. Guess what, Americans? What's happening in America right now? I don't care because I don't live there. Colleges and hospitals are now requiring people to wear masks now, aren't they? COVID's coming back, isn't it? I'm sure glad electing Donald Trump fixed all these problems and made America great again. Great job, guys. You right-wingers, Trump supporters, you're doing a great job saving the United States and turning it back to the right and kicking the woke's ass. Great job, folks. Oh, my God. Anyway, the next pandemic, as I've said, will be worse. And the reason it'll be worse is because you, including you Trump supporters, right-wingers, Republicans, Trantcons, you guys too, you showed the elites in the last pandemic that you will follow instructions like good little babies. You will get your vaccination and you will stay home and you'll, social distance and you'll wear your stupid mask. You'll bitch about it on Facebook. Yes, you'll bitch about it on Twitter. This is bullshit, but you'll do it. And the elites goes, holy shit. This is what the elites did in the pandemic. Oh my God, they did it. We told them all this crazy shit, and 99% of people fucking did it. That's what happened. So the next time they do this, which may be coming sooner you think, it's going to be worse. In the last pandemic, did you have 30 million Americans say, fuck you, I'm not wearing a mask? If you arrest me, arrest me? No, that's not what happened. Did you have 30, 40 million Americans say, I'm not paying my taxes? Do you revoke these stupid things? No. Did you have 30, 40, 50 million Americans move to another country to live a more free life like I did? No, they stayed right there and they took it. During the pandemic, lest I remind you that while you Americans, including you people who lived in Florida and Canada, wherever else, while you guys were locked down and you couldn't go to restaurants and movie theaters, I was in Dubai going to restaurants, going to movie theaters, whatever the fuck I wanted, living a free life. Because I didn't take it, I did something about it. And voting for Trump does not count as doing something about it, because clearly that doesn't work. How'd that work out last time, guys? So the next pandemic is going to be worse. And I had so many emails during the pandemic from many of you saying, God damn, I can't leave. I'm stuck in this country. I'm stuck in Italy. I'm stuck in the UK. I'm stuck here. I'm stuck there. Because I didn't take your advice, Caleb. I wonder what's going to happen in the next pandemic. How many of you who are doing nothing right now except jerking off the pictures of Donald Trump and Andrew Tate are doing nothing to further your lives and getting residencies and doing all this stuff? And then the next pandemic hits, and you're going to bitch and moan again. You're going to buy another gun and do nothing with it. And you're going to bitch and moan again and wear your mask and get your vaxxers like a good little bitch. I'm sorry, but that's what happened in the last pandemic. So certainly it's going to happen the next one. And the next one's going to be worse. Will you have somewhere to go? I don't care. I have residency, legal residency, and permanent residency in at least 2 of the 5 countries, 5 other countries. This stuff doesn't affect me because I took care of these things. You can too. It's not that hard, right? Let's see. Hang on. War. Boy, a lot of Ukrainians would have liked to have another residency, right? Well, war will never happen here. Yeah, right. Civil unrest. Americans, a little bit of Canadians, certainly you Europeans, my God. As I've said, civil unrest is now a standard option in America now. It is just something you have to learn to live with for the rest of your life as America continues to collapse. At what point you're going to say, fuck this, I'm going to get the fuck out of here. I'm going to countries that don't have civil unrest. I live in Dubai. We don't have civil unrest there. Okay. Paraguay had one little thing of civil unrest during the pandemic. It was that it was over. The Paraguayans are like the chill Hispanic people. That's it. Okay. Not a big deal. Or when you're ready to leave. A lot of guys will use our services or they'll do this themselves. They want the residency because they plan this out 3 months in advance, like 2-3 years in advance. They want to set it up and they want to leave in 3 years. And when they don't want to figure it out when they want to leave, they want to figure it out then. They want it ready to go for when they leave. Some of you older guys who maybe have kids who are getting ready to leave, or maybe you have a business project you're working on or something where you can't leave now, but you leave in 2 years, but we want to get ready now. We want to get the ground running now. So you just go to Paraguay, go to Armenia, or wherever, and just get that done. Perfectly fine. Or if you decide you change your mind. Here's the thing. When I talk about Alpha Male 2.0 on my other channel, it's about options. Freedom options, the option to change your mind. I love my country. Don't you want the option of having somewhere else to go in case you change your mind? Are you always going to love your country? Is your country always going to be perfect forever? No. Here's an amazing thing I want to tell you. I used to love America. Excuse me. I still like Americans. I don't like the government. I still love American, well, some aspects of American culture. I used to love American culture, not so much more. Anyway, I used to love everything. In the 80s, America was great. In the 90s, that's when it started getting bad, but it was still fine. 2000s when it started going south, okay? But I used to love it. But I changed my mind because conditions changed. Right? You can also potentially, depending on your scenario, depending on where you're from, depending on how much time you're willing to spend outside the country, save a lot of money on taxes. You Westerners, Americans, Europeans, Canadians, Australians are paying between 50 and 70% of your total taxes and income you see and taxes you see and taxes you don't. I pay 4. I pay 4 point some legally. Yeah. Now that's only because I'm an American. If I wasn't an American, soon I won't. If I was an American, that 4% would be 1% or 0 legally. Probably 1% because I make a decent amount of money. I'll pay 1% fine. Better than 50. Okay. Can't do that if you have no other residencies, though. To have international plan B for peace of mind. I have 3 plan Bs on top of Dubai. I sleep very well at night. Whenever some president gets elected who I don't like, I go, oh, well, you guys go, ah! Because you have no plan B. You're stuck where you are. You're a prisoner of your own country. I am not. No country owns me. No country owns me. But if you have no other residencies besides where you live, your country owns your ass. Okay? Residency enables you to do several things. Obviously, it enables you to stay in that country for as long as you want and not worry about the ticking clock of your expiring visa. I'm in Mexico. There's a lot of people like that here. I've talked to like 4 of them in the last week. Oh, I got to leave because my visa is about to expire. Oh, or I was in Colombia, I had to leave because my visa. What a pain in the ass. I have legal residency in my countries. I never have to leave. I can stay as long as I want. I don't have to worry about it. I just don't worry about it. Oh boy, I better leave. I got to leave by September, because my visa. That's not happiness long term. Most importantly, they force these countries to allow you in when there's a problem, during a pandemic, during a war, during an economic collapse, during whatever, World War III, whatever. They have to let you in because you live there. You are a legal resident of that country. You don't need a passport to be a legal resident. They have to let you in. So many people during the pandemic tried to get into countries, they wouldn't let them. Even people who were married to other people wouldn't let them in because they didn't have legal residency. They said, sorry, get the fuck out. I walk right past you, flash my residency card, and I get right in. And you, in case of catastrophe and future problems, of which you're going to have many, you want that option. You can open a bank account. Virtually no country on earth, there's a tiny handful, and they're not countries you'd like usually, will not let you open up a bank account there unless you have residency. So once you get your residency card, it unlocks your ability to have money there, bank account there, start a corporation there if that's what you want, get a year-round apartment there. This is very difficult, if not impossible, in most countries unless you have residency there. Just try it. Go to some random country as a tourist and go into some random bank, say, can I start a bank account? Here's my American passport. They'll go, oh, you stupid American or Canadian or European. Get the fuck out of here. Purchase land or real estate there. Okay, if that's something you want. If you don't care, never mind. But some of you want that. I'm definitely working on that. Maybe I've done that. Numerous other benefits I can't think of right now. Too numerous to list that you do not get unless you have residency. There's just so many benefits. And they don't tax you unless you live there full time and it's a non-territorial tax country. Okay, but that's something you'd evaluate. So in terms of what country to pick from, these are your priorities, and everyone has different sets of priorities. Never copy someone else's set of priorities. I left the United States and went to Dubai. My number one priority was taxes. It was not getting laid. It was not sunny weather. It was not, politics. I hate everybody's politics. I'm a minarchist libertarian. How many countries are libertarian? Yeah, so I hate everybody's politics. It was, for me, it was taxes. Now, for you, it might be cost of living, lower cost of living. Live like, you could go to Paraguay, live like a king on a low average Western income, live like a little king down there. My God, it's so cheap. And places like Thailand, stuff like that too. Or your priority may be things like lifestyle. Living on the beach, better weather, year-round weather. I relate to that. I'm from Portland, Oregon. Year-round weather suck balls. So I have much nicer weather most of the year in Dubai. Better business income or investment opportunities. That's another reason I mentioned Dubai. That was probably reason number 3. It's a really strong international hub. There's lots of money in Dubai. Lots of people are coming to Dubai. It's a great place for international business. Very low taxes, so it attracts lots of very smart business people. Love it. Now, you may not give a shit. The point is, what are your priorities? Living in a growing economy, a growing culture instead of a collapsing culture like the US, Canada, Europe. I live in Dubai and I live in Paraguay, 2 rising countries, quickly rising. One is first world, one is emerging, but they're both rising. They both get better every year. Your country gets worse every year. And if you're a single guy, okay, yes, hotter, easier, nicer women. This is not Alpha 2.0. I'm not going to go details about that, but just make a mental note. That is the reason why a lot of men do this. Lower taxes, that was mine. That was my big thing. If you make very little money, they probably don't give a shit about this. Some of you, I know, I've talked to many of you, are making good money and you have your own businesses. What the fuck are you doing living in the United States? What the hell are you doing living in the UK? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing living in Canada? Just talk to a guy. Love him. Love this guy to death. Guy in the real estate world, living in Canada, making, almost 7 figures. What are you doing living in Canada, bro? You like paying 50% tax? What are you doing? Get out of there. And nicer, less stressed people, particularly if you are an American, where everybody's pissed off all the time and everybody hates each other. You go to other countries and you suddenly realize it, like it's a shock to you when you're American. Wow, people are happy here. Even here in Mexico. They're happy, they're friendly, they're joking around. They're not pissed off about Trump and Biden. Same thing with Dubai. Same thing with Paraguay for the most part. There's a few people in Paraguay a little worked up about politics, but it's a weird little, fringe. It's not the norm like it is in United States, UK, Canada, blah, blah, blah. And then whether or not you like living in a city, in a high-tech first city like Dubai or emerging market like Paraguay, some guys like cities. Some guys hate cities. Some guys like emerging markets. They like that feel. They prefer that. Some guys hate that. Some guys like more rural. Some guys hate rural. What do you like? The 4 countries we talk about here, you've got your gamut. You've got suburban, rural, high tech, low tech. You got everything. I cover them. That's the reason why I like to focus on these 4, maybe 5 countries. Okay? Most countries in the world make residency very difficult. They do this on purpose. And this is going to get harder as time goes on. Every year that goes by, 5 flags or international living gets more difficult. Hang on. So they do this on purpose. So most countries, if you want to get this is not passport now. This is just residency, okay? Most countries, you want to get residency, you have to do 1 or more of these things. 1, you have to live there, often for many years, or at a minimum, 9 months a year for 3 years, 10 months a year for 3 years, 6 months a year for 4 years, all that bullshit. You have to fucking live there. What if you don't want to live there? Some of them require you to deposit a large amount of money. I don't mean $5,000. I mean like $500,000, $1 million, $3 million. You have to deposit one of their banks or buy a bunch of bonds or something like that. I don't know about you. I don't know if you have $800,000 laying around to deposit some bank just to get residency in some country where you could get it for free or much cheaper somewhere else. Or they require you to start a real business, not an Alpha 2.0 location business, but a real business with offices and people in them, or a farm and factory, shit like that. That costs millions of dollars of real infrastructure. Then they'll give you a residency. How much fun does that sound to you? Doesn't sound fun to me, and I'm a business person. Or in many cases, they require you to buy a house or buy an apartment. Okay, like Colombia, for example, right? But there are many countries like this. You got to buy Turkey, a lot of European countries. You got to buy something. You got to buy an apartment there, and then they'll give you a residency. Well, fuck that. So here are the 4 easiest and best residency countries in the world. These are the 4 that we focus on here at Sovereign CEO. I have legal residency in all 4 of these countries. I have permanent residency in several of them. These are the best 4 countries in the entire world. Someone has asked me earlier, why don't you focus on Southeast Asia? Because these are easier to get than Southeast Asia. They are the 4 easiest in the entire world. That's what we focus on here. Here are the 4 listed in no particular order. Number 1, Paraguay, my second home. One of the safest countries in the world geographically, territorial tax, friendly people who love foreigners. Fantastic country. Love it. I'm already starting to miss it. I was just there. I'm already starting to miss it a little bit. Armenia, probably, in my view, the least bad country in the European zone. Is it perfect? No, but it is fucking awesome. And it is a growth economy now because of Putin's stupid war. They are making assloads of money now in their banks. They have lots of Russian money coming in, lots of Ukrainian money coming in. They're benefiting from both sides. Great place. United Arab Emirates, which is Dubai. That is my home. 0 taxes. One of the most fabulous cities on earth. One of the top cities in the world. One of the wealthiest cities in the world. And 0 taxes. Let me say that again. 0 taxes and 0 crime. Not bad. And Mexico, I'm here right now. One of the countries in the world that gives the least shit about you in terms of their government butting themselves into your business. Mexico's like in the top of the world. I didn't say that Mexico isn't, that the government isn't corrupt. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying in terms of leaving you alone as compared to the government being up your ass like in the United States, great place. And coming soon, not yet, but coming soon, Uruguay. Next year. I have no more to say about that, but that is coming soon. That will be our 5th one. I used to talk about Panama. I delete them off the list. Unfortunately, I need to add someone back in, and that would be Uruguay. Uruguay basically is the more first world advanced version of Paraguay. It's the easy way I could explain it. So Paraguay just seems too much like rough or shitty. Uruguay is your place. It's like it's an hour flight, hour and a half. It's awesome. All right, I will now overview the residency process for all 4 of these countries. I'm going to cover all 4. I've never done this before. This will be interesting. Then I will quickly show you how you can do this, how you can have us do this for you instead, if you want to just have us do this for you and hang out with us in these countries, because all those events are now open. Yes, we now have dates for all 4 of our Get Residency services: Paraguay, Dubai, Armenia, and Mexico. I will talk about that at the end. And then I will do a full Q&A for as long as I can. I should probably check my schedule. Hang on a moment. Probably should have done this before I opened my big mouth. Let me make sure I have no other appointments right after this. Big Daddy Caleb has been a little busy lately with meetings. Meetings, lots of meetings. Hang on one moment. Let's see here. No, I'm good. Okay, so I can definitely hang out for a Q&A. All right. Now, first off, if you want to do this yourself for any of these 4 countries, you need to fully understand these 4 types of paperwork. It is complex because you're dealing with governments, and governments suck, and they make things more complicated, uselessly so. Even governments that are less bad than others, they still are complex. It's a bureaucratic world we live in. Get ready. So here are the things. First one is notarized. That means you have a notary that watches you sign something. That's what notarized, and they put a stamp on it, and they sign it. That means that your signature is valid. It doesn't mean the document is valid. That's not what notarization means. It means that someone has watched you sign something. That's it. It's all notarization means. Certified means the document is valid. Usually there is a raised seal that they stamp or they clamp it on the piece of paper. So that means that the document itself is a valid document, and or your signature is also valid. Okay. Authenticated means that the document is not only certified and notarized, but it is approved for that country. So for example, I live in Dubai. So I had some personal documents I had in the United States get authenticated in Dubai, meaning they're now valid in Dubai. So in other words, if you have your birth certificate, you born in the United States, and you take it to Ecuador, and they say, where's your birth certificate? If it's some rent, you want to get a driver, you hand them your birth certificate from America, they'll say, this is American birth certificate. This was useless to me. You have to get it authenticated for Ecuador. Make sense? That's what authenticated means. It means it's now official for that country. Apostilled. Apostilled means it is approved worldwide based on a worldwide, or close to worldwide, it's the Hague Convention, a worldwide set of standards. You have to actually send the document, the notarized document, into your government, and they apostille it for a particular country. So let's say you're getting residency in Paraguay. You need to have a criminal background check, unfortunately. So you get your FBI criminal background check. You send it into the United States federal government to get it apostilled for Paraguay, and approves it for Paraguay. Make sense? And then translated, you know what that means. Translated into Spanish, particularly for these 4 countries. So you need to understand this, because you'll need these. Okay? Let's cover Paraguay first. Cover that first because that's our most popular one. You guys love Paraguay. That's our most popular service by far. So the pros and cons of residency in Paraguay, because there are pros and cons, everything. You have to make your own determination. Some of you are going to go after multiple of these 4. Great. Please do. Some of you just want one of them. Fine. So here are the pros and cons. Pros of Paraguay: it is one of the most geographically safe countries in the entire planet Earth. If there was a World War III, Paraguay would be just fine because it's so far away from everything. It's on the southern hemisphere, and it's in a part of the world no one gives a shit about. It's awesome. I have said many times, and also there's a local economy there around the local bordering Mercosur countries. So I've said many times, well, when guys say, if America collapses, the whole world will turn into a shithole. No. If America collapsed tomorrow morning, people in Paraguay would not even notice. I mean that literally. They would not. They'd see it on the news and go, oh, that sucks. And they go on with their life. You'd be just fine. So it's very, very good international plan B by far. Next one. When you get your Paraguay cedula, which is your national ID card, which is a separate process, cover that in a second. You can use that card. You can put your passport away and use that card to travel visa-free to all Mercosur countries, almost all of them. That is almost the entire continent of South America. Certainly Argentina, Chile, Brazil, Ecuador, places like that. You just walk right in, show them your Mercosur, your Paraguay cedula, they let you in. Awesome. Awesome. Cool. There are some restrictions about that. It gets complicated, but that's generally the case. Super cheap. You live like a king in Paraguay. If you don't make a lot of money, you want to move somewhere and be a king, well, yes, you go to Thailand. It's there are other places you go. Philippines, kind of. But Paraguay, oh my God. Cheap as fuck. Super friendly people who like foreigners. They like you. Because there are other places in the world that don't like you when you're a foreigner, aren't there? Disadvantages of Paraguay. The residency process is slow. It is the slowest one in this group of 4 countries. It takes about, they say 90 days. It often takes about 100, 120 days. You gotta be patient. That doesn't mean you have to stay there for 90 days. You go there, you get things processed, you leave, they get it ready, and then you come back whenever you want and pick it up. But it takes a while. It's not like you can just go there and leave with your residency card like places like Armenia or Dubai. It's slow. The Latin world is slow. Much more paperwork than most other countries on this list. It is very paperwork intensive, the residency process. It sucks that way. They need a lot of shit from you. They need your marriage certificate. If you ever got married. If you ever got divorced, they need your divorce certificate. You need a criminal background check, which a lot of people go, oh, I have something on my criminal. Sorry, they need that. Other countries don't care, but Paraguay cares. Like your birth certificate. You got to apostille it. You got to certify it. Bunch of bullshit. That's unfortunate. Next con, getting your national ID card, which they call the cedula, is a separate process from residency. You can do it in addition to residency, but there's an extra cost and an extra process. Most of these other countries, residency gives you your national ID card. It's one and the same. Paraguay splits out into two different processes, unfortunately. Okay. Here's the process getting residency in Paraguay. Okay. Number one, you have to acquire an apostille, which means you have to certify, you have to notarize, then send it to your federal government to apostille for Paraguay, these documents. Your birth certificate, your criminal background check, and it must be from a federal source. They used to accept things from local police stations. My understanding is they do not do that anymore. It's from your federal. So if the United States federal government, if it's Canada, Canada I don't think needs, Canadians may not need, no, you still need it. From your federal government. Pain in the ass. You got to apostille it, and unfortunately, in most Western countries, it only lasts 6 months. So if you get it, it takes 4 months to apostille, which it does because governments suck balls. You got 2 months to send it down there and get things rolling. It's kind of this game you got to play. It sucks. If you have something on your criminal report for Paraguay, if you have anything negative on there, anything, okay, what you have to do, you have to include another letter, a certified letter from your court stating that the thing that it was, whatever it was satisfied. It's completed and satisfied. If there was a fine, you paid the fine. If there was jail time, my God, you went to jail and completed your jail time. If it was taken off your record, it was taken off, whatever. You have to have another document on top of that stating it was completed. If you don't have that, you're in trouble. Sorry. Get residency in one of these other countries. I don't care. Right? If you are married, legally married, you need your marriage certificate. If you have ever been divorced in your life, you need a divorce decree. Okay, copy of that. And you have to apostille that too. Pain in the ass. Once they are apostilled, you need to have them translated into Spanish. You can do that yourself or use a translation service. Once they are apostilled, you notarize them, get them notarized, send them in for apostille, get the apostille, translate them. Those 3 steps for all those docs. Okay. Then you fly to Asuncion, which is the biggest city in Paraguay. If you are doing this yourself, you need to plan on being there at least 3 weeks. If you're having us do this for you, 2 weeks is enough. But if you're doing this yourself, 3 weeks. Okay. Next, you submit your documents to the Department of Imigración Apartamente. I forget. See, my Spanish isn't very good. Speaking of Spanish, you need to speak Spanish. If you do not speak Spanish, you will need to have an interpreter with you. Either hire someone or someone you know. Stand with you for all these appointments. They will not speak English at any of these appointments. Dubai, they all speak English. Armenia, they kind of speak English. Mexico, kind of. Paraguay, nope. So if you don't speak fluent Spanish, you need to have someone there at all times to help you with this, okay? Then you have to go to these appointments. First, you got to get your passport certified. You get a copy done in Paraguay, then they notarize it, and then they authenticate it for Paraguay, okay? You have to be there for that. You go to the police station, they will do a local police check on you. Make sure you're not a criminal in Paraguay. Then you'll go to Interpol, which is not the police, that's the international version like the CIA or whatever, to make sure you don't have an Interpol record. You probably don't, but you got to do that, right? Then you have to go back to the immigration department with all these receipts of these other appointments and hand it to them. Again, you need to have your interpreter there. Then you wait 90 to 120 days. It takes a long time. Expect delays. They are slow. Paraguay is very slow. That's both its blessing and its curse. It's very slow. They're very relaxed in Paraguay. They take their time and they change their minds. Then within 90 to 120 days, your residency will be ready. You will not get your national ID card. That will be your cedula. If you want to do that, you have to apply for that separately, use the same set of appointments, and then you can get that at the same time. You used to have to wait for residency and then get cedula. Wait another 4 months, which is what I had to do. But now you can apply for both at the same time, okay? So you might get your residency and your cedula on different dates. So you have to go back and pick things up, wait till the residency and cedula is done, okay? You don't need cedula to have a valid residency. For years, I didn't have mine. It was fine. They still have to let you in. You're still a valid resident. You just don't have a national ID card for things like opening a bank account. Okay. All right. That's Paraguay. One more thing about Paraguay really quick that I did not mention, that I should mention really quick. On this step, let's see. Where's fly to Asuncion? Step 3. You will need to most likely purchase a visa that they stamp into your passport as soon as you land at the airport. Some countries do, some countries don't. and they fucking change these countries every 6 months. We had a scenario last time where a bunch of people came down in June or July, and they had told us, oh, from this person for this country, he doesn't need it. And this person for this country, he does need it. Well, they changed it between the time we set them up and the time they came down. It was wrong. It was a mess. Okay, so just you have to check with whomever you need to check with in terms of your immigration department. You may need someone to speak Spanish. I'm from this country. Do I need to purchase a visa? If you're from the United States, Canada, and 2 or 3 others, you will, which means you need to bring down a number of $20 bills. I know this is stupid. $20 USD bills, more than you need. It's going to be about $140. So $140, $20 bills. However, they will examine every $20 bill. And if you have a crack on it or there's a mark on it, they will discard it and they won't count it. So bring double the amount of $20 bills in US currency when you go to the airport, and you buy it there at the airport. By the way, they will not tell you need this. If you go like late at night, like 11 o'clock, that little kiosk will be closed. They'll say, oh, you don't need that. You're fine. No, you do need it. So I need to buy the visa. I'm from America. I need to buy it. Oh, okay. And then they'll have someone go do it for you. Okay. Tricky. All right. All right. All right. Where are we here? Armenia. This one is our fastest growing one. You guys didn't give a shit about Armenia, but now you do. I don't know if that's because of the Ukraine thing or what. But now Armenia is suddenly getting very popular. Fine. Pros and cons of Armenia residency. And again, I have residency in all these countries, so I'm a pro at this. The least paperwork of all the residencies. All you need is your passport. That's it. You don't need anything else. It's like it is the polar opposite of Paraguay. Here's my passport. Okay, that's all we need. What? Really? Awesome. Now there's a disadvantage coming up quickly, but that's pretty fucking cool. You know, so you guys worried about, I have stuff on my criminal background. They don't care in Dubai. They don't care in Armenia. They mostly don't care in Mexico. So you have other options if you can't do Paraguay, right? I'm not saying you can't do, you just see that form. Very fast residency, the second fastest residency on this list. Dubai is the fastest. You will have your residency in about 24 days. Boom. Awesome. Really cool. Here's my favorite. What you do is you get your residency, okay? You wait a year, you convert it to, you renew it, then you wait 2 more years, so a total of 3 years, and you can apply for a passport. Now, there's a few other things you need to do in that 3-year interim, but you don't need to live there, you don't need to move there, you don't need all that crap. There's a few other forms you have to fill out, register, and you have to get a registered address, you got to get a social security number, all things I'm doing right now. Matter of fact, I'll be back there for the Get Residency Armenia service. I shortly give you dates in a minute. Awesome. I am working on that right now. Pretty fucking cool. It's a growth economy. Because of Russia's dumb war, Armenia has cashed in. It's like a whole different place there now. I loved it before this. Now it's really good. Negatives of Armenia, there's one big one. It is the most expensive because to get residency in Armenia, you have to, in addition to your residency fees, you have to pay it's about $6,000 US. You hand them $6,000. What they do is they will purchase in your name a 10% equity stake in some little company, a farm or a little manufacturing thing in your van or whatever. You have a choice. They pick it. You have some option, but not much. And that's it. Now you own stock. I own stock in a vineyard in about 2 hours outside of your van. It's kind of funny. You might get that back someday. It's stock in your name. You can't just go in and sell it. It's up to the person who owns the company in terms of how often they sell it, or but so it's what we like to say to people is just pretend it's gone. Pretend it's gone. You probably won't get it back. So there you go. $6,000. But again, $6,000 for a European residency in 24 days. Good deal. All right. And a possible passport. Yeah, I'd pay double that. All right. Here's the process for Armenia. You got to set up an appointment with the immigration department before you leave. Okay. They sort of speak English. You might have to screw around a little bit on the phone. It is better if you have a Russian interpreter or an Armenian interpreter. Either one, you don't need one, but it's recommended. In Paraguay, you need an interpreter. Sorry. They will not speak English. They do speak English, but there's a little screwing around. Then you got to fly to Yerevan. You need to plan on being there at least 10 days. Probably not more than 10 days. It's pretty quick, but at least 10 to be safe. Okay. While you're there, you need to get an authentic copy of your passport, and you have to submit your passport to the immigration department. They will actually keep it for 1 or 2 days, which kind of sucks. Always makes you a little nervous, but that's the way it goes. They give it back to you. It's not a big deal. But that's the good news is that's all you need in terms of submitting your docs, your passport. That's it. Awesome. You need to get the necessary forms for them to complete the 10% investment, corporate investment. You will pay the $6,000. You can wire it. You can use a credit card. You can pay any way you want. You can even write a check. I don't think you do a check. Credit card, debit card, or wire. It's fine. Plus the registration fees and the legal fees on junk. Okay, I paid that too. And you're going to sign a bunch of forms. Some of them will be in Armenian. Some of them will not. Some of them will be half Armenian, half English. They will help you. They will help if you have questions. They will help. They're very friendly. They will help you, but it's kind of a slog if you don't have an interpreter there, but you can get through it. I would recommend you do it. You get an interpreter. And then your residency card, I put that in quotes. We ready about 24 days. Same deal. You don't have to stay there 24 days. You can go back and pick it up or whatever you want to do. Okay. Or they can mail it. You can pay an extra fee and they can mail it to you in your home country, depending on how you work this out. It is not a national ID card. It's a piece of paper that's like this big, but it's paper. And your picture will be on it. It's kind of flimsy and stupid, and you don't need it to get in the country. They don't even ask for it, but it is your legal proof of residency. I bring mine whenever I go, but you don't technically. It's not a laminated card that you get in most countries. Okay, it's Armenian. Optionally, if you decide to then go for a passport, because that's why I'm doing this, there's a few other things you have to do as a separate process. You don't do it immediately. You can wait. You can do it next year or whatever, but you want to do it soon. You have to register for a social security number in Armenia. You can't do this till you have residency, so you have residency first. Social security number, and you have what's called a registered address. You don't need it to buy an apartment or rent an apartment. You can use services where they can use someone else's address. Wink, wink. You can do that. It's fine. It's not illegal. But you need what's called a registered address in Armenia. So you have the government recognizes you as having a social security number and an address. When you go apply for a passport in 3 years, your odds are much higher you'll get it because you have these things in place. Okay. Optional, but strongly recommended if that's your objective. Okay. Dubai, my home. Oh, Dubai. What is the national anthem of Dubai? I don't know. I was going to sing something in Arabic, but it sounds like Klingon when I do it. All right. Pros of Dubai. 0 taxes. Let me say that again. 0 taxes. Let me say that again. No income tax. No property taxes, no payroll taxes, no corporate taxes, no capital gains taxes, no digital services taxes bullshit they have here in the Latin world. No taxes, none. You get paid and then you take the money home. People who have jobs in Dubai, see, you Americans and you Westerners, you get a job, you get what's called a pay stub with your quasi-authoritarian, collapsing, quasi-socialist government takes 1/3 of your fucking paycheck out and says, F you. In Dubai, you just get a check and it's all yours. It's awesome. When you pay yourself a salary in Dubai from your own corporation, you just pull money out and it's your money. It's awesome. You also get, when you get a residency in Dubai, that's the United Arab Emirates, you also get a full free zone corporation with your residency. They're attached. So not only do you get residency, you get a corporation. Cool. Now you don't get a checking account set up with that corporation. That's a separate process you do after. But you get a registered legal corporation that is a real company in Dubai. Awesome. Oh, I love Dubai so much. Lightning fast residency, the fastest residency probably in the world. You will have your national ID card in 14 days. You'll have it on the same visit. It is the only country on this list, probably the only country in the world of this ease, where you can literally go there, apply, and leave with your card. Cool. Okay. No screwing around. They just give you here you go. Unlike most countries, Dubai relies on expats and foreigners to come in. They want people coming to their country. Instead of saying, fuck you, which is what most countries do, they're like, please, yes, we love you. Come here. We want your money. Come here. That's why there's no taxes. Yes, please. Please make us rich. Yes. Yes. It unlocks access to all their banks so you can stop paying taxes, especially if you're not an American. If you're American, you'll pay some taxes depending on whether you decide to stay in America or not. That's a complicated thing outside the scope of this presentation. But certainly if you're not an American, my God, boom, dude. And you can protect your assets. You can put cash in there, whatever you want. Okay. Negatives of Dubai. More expensive than the other options. It's certainly more expensive than Paraguay or Armenia. It's several $1,000s more because you're including a corporation there. and there's no way to remove the corporation, but it is still cheaper than Armenia because there's no $6,000 thing. So it's a little less expensive than Armenia, but it's certainly more expensive than Paraguay or Mexico. Okay? But again, and I mentioned this last time I talked about Dubai, on this Dubai webinars I did. To me, it's just a math problem. How much money will I save over the course of the next 3, 4, 5 years in taxes if I register in Dubai, whether or not I move to Dubai? If it's more than the cost of this, it's a no-brainer. I'm doing it. That's what I did. I mean, fine. Next con, the corporation, which is required to maintain your residency, sort of. This is a gray area. I can talk about that in the Q&A if you want. Does need to be renewed every year, and there's a fee. It's a significant fee. It's like $2,000-3,000. Again, if you're saving thousands of dollars on taxes, who cares? But just be aware of this. It's not like you set up a corporation, then you're done. You got to renew the corporation every year, and there's a hunky fee to that. Okay. The process for getting legal residency in the United Arab Emirates. You make an appointment, or make several appointments actually, with the Immigration Department and the Department of Health. That is, it's called, what's it called? You can just Google it. There's a certain name for the department, the Government Department of Health there. Why that? You'll see that in a second. You fly to Dubai. I would not go to Abu Dhabi. I would specifically go to Dubai. It's easier. And you want to be there for at least 2 weeks. If you also want to set up bank accounts for your corporation or yourself in Dubai, you need to stay there longer or plan on making a return trip, okay? Because that's not going to happen in that 2-week period. 2 weeks to get the residency in the corporation, then you can start the process of getting in the checking account, which takes another 2 to 3 weeks. One of the negatives of Dubai is that you can't just walk into a bank and set up a checking account. They're very, very careful about it because many years ago, other countries got on their asses about people doing money laundering and shit because they have no taxes there. So they really cracked down on that. So as a result, now when you go to open a checking account, you got to wait a week or two. It's not a week. It's like 2 or 3 weeks. Kind of sucks. But then once you have banks in place, you're good. So, but if you don't need a bank account now, 2 weeks, that's it, and you'll have your card when you leave. You register with the Immigration Department. You need a copy of your passport and your national ID card from wherever you come from. And that's it. It's like Armenia. You don't need anything else. They don't care. Awesome. Then you have to go get a health checkup at one of the registered immigration health agencies. What they do really is you stand in front of this big x-ray. They do an x-ray of your heart. They're looking for, what are they looking for? Tuberculosis? Something really stupid. I forget. They're looking for something in your heart. I forget. And then they take a quick blood draw and they check for AIDS. AIDS and 1 or 2 other African diseases, which I'm sure you don't have. And that's it. Then you're out. Here's the problem. Thousands, if not millions of people are moving to United Arab Emirates every year. If you do this yourself, which is fine, you're going to wait in line a long time. You might be there for several hours. You're going to go into this room for this health appointment, and it'll be full of like Indians and Pakistanis and Russians and this giant room, and you'll be at the end of the line, and it'll take hours. Plan to be there for the bulk of the day. If you pay someone to do it for you, wink, wink, we will give you a little VIP card. You flash this little card with the little rep you have, and you skip the line, you go right in, you're out. You're right in, click, 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 you're out. Boom. If you do it yourself, be prepared to wait. Okay? Next, you register your corporation with the free zone of your choice. There are over 40 free zones in Dubai. Dubai is pretty much one giant fucking free zone. 30 of which you can start your own corporation. Most of them are pretty good. We have some recommendations on ones, but they're all pretty good. Some are better than others, but there's plenty of good ones. You just pick one and you register your corporation. You will then pay a registration fee for the corporation. You'll pay an immigration fee and immigration. 2 different processes. So you're going to pay to register the corporation with one entity, which is the free zone entity, which is almost like a free market entity that contracts with the government. You're going to pay another registration fee for the immigration for actual residency. So you're going to get your corporation and your residency, 2 different things at the same time. Okay? Then your last appointment is you go to biometrics, and they're going to fingerprint your ass and then take a picture of you for your, you're not going to fingerprint your ass. They're going to fingerprint your fingerprints, but then they're going to take a picture of your face. So put on your makeup. Okay. All right. Now, same deal here. You're going to wait in a long fucking line. Dubai is popular. They're efficient, but they're very popular. It's a growing economy. Everyone's going there. Okay. You go start a country and don't charge any taxes. Watch what happens. Everyone's going to go to your country because that's the smartest thing on the earth to do. So what I would recommend you do if you're doing this yourself, you should go as early in the day as you can. That's what I did way back in the day. I went at like 8. I wanted to arrive there at 8 o'clock a.m. And even then there was a fucking line. So go there as early as you can. However, if you're a woman, Dubai treats women better in the government. Women have their own express line for all this stuff. It's not fair. My wife loves it. This is awesome. I get the express line. Like, fuck you. So if you're a woman, you don't need to worry about a line. If you're a man, you're going to wait in line. Okay. 1 second. You will then pick up 2 pieces of documents, several documents. Here are the 2 most important ones. Your national ID card, you'll have it ready in 14 days or so, maybe less. One thing about that I'll say in a second. And then you need to pick up your what's called a trade license. You'll get a PDF PDF copy, and you'll get a hard copy. That's the main document you need for your corporation that shows it's an official active corporation in the United Arab Emirates. You will need that to do things like set up bank accounts. Okay, it's a very important document. Do not lose it, and don't be an idiot like me when I first moved to Dubai. This is before I moved there. Don't let it expire. Don't forget to renew it, because then you're fucked. Boy, was I stupid about that. Caused all kinds of hell. So don't do that. One thing about Dubai, when you go to get residency, do not go during Ramadan. I did this because I'm a dumbass. So what you want to do is look up, you can Google Ramadan 2023, or actually 2024 now. There's 2 Ramadans. There's 2 of them. There's a big one and a little one. There's 2. So you go Ramadan 2023 or Ramadan 2024, make a note of those dates. Do not go to Dubai to do anything governmental during those dates. You'll be very, very upset. It's going to take way longer than 2 weeks because they barely work during Ramadan. They work, but not much. Okay, they shut a bunch of shit down. They take off work early. They don't work Fridays, and it's a whole mess. So be aware of this. Don't make my error. Do not do this during Ramadan. Okay, bad. All right. Mexico. Viva la Mexico. I'm here right now. I'm in Guadalajara. Here are the pros of Mexican residency. Number 1, top of the list, cheapest residency in the world by far. In terms of ease and cheap, Mexico is number 1 in the world right now. Number 1. In terms of getting it easily and cheaply, where I have to buy anything or move there, and the fee it costs, it's cheap as fuck. If you do it yourself, or if you pay someone like us to do it, it's cheap. It's the cheapest one by far. It's awesome. Much less documents required than Paraguay or most other Latin countries. So there are still some documents, but nothing horrible like Paraguay. Paraguay, you need a mountain of documents. Mexico, you need a few and you're good. Okay, not bad. This is a big one. Boy, am I excited about this for me. Ooh, yes. I did an entire YouTube video on this. When they say the difference between permanent and temporary residency, the only difference is that permanent residency, it's longer to renew. You still have to renew permanent residency. So they'll say temporary residency is 1 year. Permanent residency, you have to renew every 4 years. Was that permanent? If I've got to renew it? No, it's a lie. But Mexico is one of the few countries in the world where when you get permanent residency, and I don't have mine yet, I got to wait 2 more years and I get mine. Permanent residency, it is actually fucking permanent. So in 2 years, in exactly 2 years, I'm going to have my permanent, right now I have temporary residency for another 2 years. I go renew it again. You need 3 years of temporary. I'm going to get my permanent residency card. It is permanent. I never have to do anything to me. I don't have to come back to Mexico. I just put it away, and now I have residency in Mexico for the rest of my life without having to do anything. Talking about an awesome plan B, dude. Oh my God. Then you can apply for a passport. You want to stay in Mexico 6 months a year. We'll talk about that in Q&A if you want. Awesome. It is the only country that I'm aware of this ease that gives you true permanent residency. These other countries I have permanent, quote unquote, residency in Paraguay, but it's 10 years. That's pretty good, but still not permanent. All right. The negatives. Checking technology here. We're good. Here's the big negative of Mexican residency. It's a pain in the ass. Now, the good news is you only do it once. I went through this. People who've gone through our program have done this. You only do it once, but it's a pain in the ass. Before you go to Mexico, you have to schedule an appointment. That in itself is difficult. With your local Mexican consulate, or embassy. Caleb, I don't have one in my city. Then guess what? You got to hop on a plane and go somewhere in your country to a city that has a Mexican consulate. Pain in the ass. Now, worse. Scheduling it's a pain in the ass. And then you got to go twice. You go back, you come back, you wait 10 days, you got to go again. Lame. You don't do it once. So what we did, Pink Firefly and I did, we were visiting family from Dubai in Portland, Oregon. There is no Mexican consulate in Portland. So we had to drive up 3 hours to Seattle, do our appointment, drive back to Portland, hang out in Portland, then we had to go back again in 10 days. We did 2 trips. Shitty, but you got to do it. Some of you have to fly. Here's a hint. Based on our information, the best consulate in the United States for you Americans to go to is Indianapolis. It's the best one, okay, in terms of ease. But there are other good ones too, okay? So that's the only negative, but that is a big negative. It's a pain in the butt. All right, here's the process. As I said, you schedule an appointment with your Mexican embassy or consulate and your immigration department in Mexico. You have to schedule both. You have to coordinate with both, okay, both at the same time. Now, the immigration department, you have to know. Actually, that's not correct. You do not have to schedule your immigration department at this point in the process. I don't know why I wrote that. I'm incorrect. So you have to schedule your consulate appointment, okay? And then assume you have to go back there in about 10 days. You don't just go there once, go there twice, okay? If there isn't one in your city, you have to fly there to another city in your country. You go to the Mexican embassy of the country where you have a passport. Let me make that clear. So if you live in a country where you don't have a passport there, you got to fly back to your home country, find a consulate there, go there, wait 10 days, go again. Okay? Just be aware of this. If you're in the United States or Canada or a big country, you just have to fly to some other city that has a consulate. Okay? Scheduling is difficult if you do it yourself. Be very patient. Even if you don't do it yourself, even if we do it for it, we have some trouble. We have a system down now. But be patient. Try other consulates. There's no one consulate you have to go to. Any consulate or any embassy in your entire country will work. Mexican embassy or consulate. Okay? Okay, once you get that appointment, God damn it, you go to the appointment, you bring your passport, your national ID card in your current country, and 3 months of personal checking out statements. You have to prove you make, I think the number is $1,700 US a month. That's it. And if you actually don't, you need to plan this in advance. Wait 3 months, plan it 90 days out, and have someone deposit money in your account so it shows your deposits total more than, I think the number is 1,700. I believe that's the number. I could be wrong, but close to that. Okay, that's it. Wait about 10 days. You're going to go back to the embassy again, and they're going to give you some special paperwork. Then you go to Mexico. You can go to Mexico at any time in the next 6 months. That's the good news. So you get 6 months. The timer begins 180 days or whatever to go to Mexico. It doesn't matter what city you go to. Anywhere in the Mexico is fine. But you want to go to a city that has a good immigration department. The 2 best that I know of are Guadalajara and Merida. Mexico City would probably be okay too. That'd probably be fine too. Any of those big cities, that's where you want to go. When you land in the airport, very similar to Paraguay, although less complicated. When you go to immigration control, the guy's going to stamp your passport. You say, hang on a second, I'm getting residency. You hand them the paperwork that the embassy gave you, and they stamp that. That has to be stamped by them. If not, you're going to be in big trouble. You have to screw around a lot. So make sure that you show, and they'll tell you this at the embassy appointment. Make sure when you go to Mexico that you show them this piece of paper when you enter the airport. Okay? Make sure you do that. Important. Or else you got to do this all over again. You don't want to do this all over again. All right. Then you go to your immigration appointment. Very similar to Paraguay, not quite as bad. You need to speak Spanish or have someone there who speaks fluent Spanish for you. Now, if you don't, they have translators, but it's a mess. Don't rely on their translators. Or you can find someone. It's a mess. I've seen people do it there. I was just there last week. We're doing my thing. People wouldn't speak English. Like, oh, do you speak? I mean, it was a mess. Don't do that. Bring someone with you who speaks Spanish, okay? If you do this on your own. If you speak Spanish, you're golden. It's fine. Similar to Dubai, although much worse, this will be a very long appointment. This is, again, the Latin world. You're going to be there all day. So go there in the morning and be prepared and set your appointment. You schedule appointments in advance. Schedule appointments as early morning as you can, and you're going to be there all day. You're going to be a lot of sitting around. Bring your laptops, get some work done. Now, you won't be standing in line like the other stuff in Dubai. You can find somewhere to sit. It's going to take fucking forever. So be very patient. When you enter Latin world, you need to be very patient. Practice your outcome independence if you're following my Alpha 2.0 stuff. Okay? And then the good news is, here's the great news. You will receive your national ID card at this appointment. You actually get it at this appointment. Okay? That's the good news. Because you're actually going to get a picture taken, all that stuff. They're going to hand you the card. It's going to take forever. It might even spill into the next day and come back the next day. I've seen that happen. Okay? If they don't get it done by 4 or 5 p.m., they leave. But you do get your card at this appointment. That's the good news. Okay? Cool. All right. So I'm going to cover this quickly. We'll get to Q&A. You can do all this bullshit yourself, which is fine. We have people in my audience who've done it themselves. That's great. I don't care. long as you do it. I want you to have an international plan B. I don't care how you do it. But if you don't want to do those bullshit yourself, you can have us do it for you. Like this didn't say that right. You can have us do it for you and hang out with me and various people on my team and have a grand old time. So I'm going to cover all 4 of the Get Residency events we have coming up. I'll give you exact dates, links, everything right now. All 4 of our Get Residency events are now open for enrollment right now. And on some of them, you need to hurry because, as I've said, as I've mentioned, there is a time before you go to the appointment, you got to get a bunch of shit done. You got to apostille documents, get documents certified, make appointments. You don't just sign up at the last minute. You want to sign up ASAP to make sure you're okay. And we have had people in a lot of these events, a lot of them, they didn't get their documents done on time and they had problems. Or in the case of Paraguay said you didn't need the documents done, and then went down and said, well, you do need the documents done because Paraguay changed their mind. Don't wait on this stuff. Get this stuff done ASAP. So we got Get Residency in Paraguay, Get Residency in Armenia, Get Residency and Corporation in Dubai. We also have a Dubai Super Conference happening at the same time. I'll talk about it in a second. And we have Get Residency in Mexico. We also have optional masterminds and other events and all these things as well. Okay, I'll cover that in a second. All right. This is the website you want to go to and bookmark if you're interested in our events. calebjones.com/events. All the events are there. All the links are there. All the info is there. Whenever we make new events, we add them to that page. There's a bunch of events we've added to that page. It's there now. And there's a bunch of events we have planned that are not yet on that page, including some very big ones next year. I'm going to Australia. I'm going to the UK. I'm going to Hong Kong. I'm going all over the fucking place because I'm a maniac. So if you want in on these events, bookmark that page and check back often. We are constantly updating that thing. Okay. Right now we have the Get Residency events and the Dubai events on there. We have all that stuff. So go there. You go there now if you want a new tab or you want to do. Okay. I'll give you specific links in a second. Okay. First, Get Residency and Corporation in Dubai. You get legal residency in the UAE and a free zone corporation. You pay one flat fee. We take care of everything. Unlike the other Get Residency services we have, this is tax deductible. Check with your accountant. That's a disclaimer. Check with your accountant. This is tax deductible because you're buying a corporation. You're paying corporate fees. So you can write this off on your taxes. So this is a little more expensive than the Paraguay and Mexico. It is, but you can write it off. Check with your accountant. You also get 50% off if you do any of the Dubai Super Conference events, which happens the same time you were already there in November. I'll give you dates. I will be there. Billy will be there. And a few others will be there. Including some people, maybe some other people I can't name because, a lot of celebrities live in Dubai. A lot of people from Hollywood and the sports world and a lot of famous YouTubers are in Dubai. And, a lot of them live there full-time or part-time. And the part-time ones in November, which we have this, is when they're there. Can't talk about it, but maybe there'll be some other people there too. Get Residency Corporation Dubai. Dates, here's the dates. November 2nd to November 15th this year. Okay, that's the date. Mark your calendars. This is your plane ticket, all that good stuff. Your deadline to register is October 15th. After October 15th, we cannot bring you in. I'm sorry. There's prep time. Again, don't wait. Now, Dubai's pretty quick. On the other ones, you really don't want to wait. Okay. I'm listing these events, by the way, in order of when the deadlines are occurring, not when they're happening. October 15th. Okay. SovereignCEO.io, not .com. SovereignCEO.io/DubaiGR. That's the website if you're interested in this. Okay. And all these links I'm about to give you are at calebjones.com/events. One place for all of them. Right. Next one, Dubai Super Conference. Okay. We're going to have a bunch of things here, and you pay for just the pieces that you want. You come to Dubai, hang out with us. We do a meet and greet with me and my team. We do a Dow dinner cruise that's on a boat. We did this last year. We did some aspects of this last year where guys hung out in the penthouses. That was awesome. We're going to hang out at the Burj Khalifa. You're going to meet local experts, bankers, realtors, tax professionals, and some other people. We'll have a little meetings with those. We're going to do a desert safari. We did this last year. It was awesome. You ride camels. You go eat dinner in the desert. You do dune bashing where you go in an SUV and you just drive up these dunes and crash and smash these dunes. And if there's a girl in the car like we had from some other group, she'll scream and cry and say, let me out. It's fucking great. Old City Tour, like the souks, those are like the gold shops and things like that. We'll do that. And we'll have a farewell brunch. And we will have a mastermind in addition as an optional thing. Optional mastermind with Caleb and Billy. There we go. Maybe Pink Firefly too, although I'm not sure. Here's the date of that, November 4th through the 9th. So it happens at the same time as the Get Residency in Dubai. So you can show up to both if you like. The deadline to register for this, October 31st. That's Halloween for you Americans. Okay. That's your hard deadline, or else we can't take you. Sorry. sovereignCEO.io/that's wrong. It's not Dubai GR. Dubai Super. Hang on. I won't correct it. It's Dubai Super. Okay. I don't know. That's my error. Sorry about that. Or go to calebjones.com/events. Okay. Cool. Okay. If you do the Dubai Get Residency Incorporation, as I mentioned, you get a 50% off all of these events, these super conference events. So here's how you want to do this. If you want to do this, you hang out with us in November. You sign up for the Dubai Get Residency first. And we get your name registered in there. Then we give you the 50% off on all these other events, including the mastermind, everything. Okay. You should do both the same week. Next up, get residency in Mexico. You'll get legal residency in Mexico with permanent residency options. It will be in Guadalajara or Merida. Now, here's the thing. You sign up now, but don't buy your plane ticket yet. Right now, it's in Guadalajara. We may switch this to Merida for several reasons in terms of the attorneys and the immigration officer we're working with. We haven't figured this out yet. You don't need to wait. You need to know what city you go to start the immigration process, as I said earlier. So you sign up now. You get your consulate stuff ready. We help you set up your consulate appointment, all that bullshit. Okay. You do that now, and then you fly to, it's probably going to be Merida. It might be Guadalajara, but it says on the website Guadalajara, but it might be Merida. Okay. Optional mastermind with Billy. I will not be at this particular event. I will not be. This is be a Billy thing. Okay. I will not physically be there. What I will do for you guys is I'll do a Zoom event for you guys. So you guys who do Get Residency in Mexico, I will do a Zoom thing just for you dudes. I'll do that, or something. Maybe we'll do more than one. I'll do something for you. I'm not going to physically be there. Can't. All right. Here are the dates. Dates of this: January 10th through January 23rd. Those are the dates you have to be in Mexico. Okay. Deadline to register, October 15th. Do not wait. This takes time. The sooner you register for the Mexico one and the Paraguay one, the better off you're going to be, because it takes time. There are document delays because these are Latin countries. Jump on this as soon as you can. Don't wait on this one if this is something you want, okay? Then you got plenty of time to get your plane ticket later, right? When we tell you if it's Merida or Guadalajara, right? sovereignCEO.io/MexicoGR. So there's a pattern here. It's the name of the country with GR at the end. sovereignCEO.io, not .com. Cool. Next, our most popular one by far. Yeah, residency in Paraguay, my second home. I already miss it. Legal residency in Paraguay, permanent residency options. It's going to be in Asuncion, Paraguay. One of my favorite cities in the world. I love it there. God damn, I love Paraguay so much. Optional mastermind with Billy. Now, on this, we're doing two of these. We're doing one at the beginning of the year and one later in the year. I will not be at the one at the beginning of the year. I will be the one later in the year. I would not wait for the one that I'm doing because they're changing laws over there. Paraguay's always changed their goddamn laws. So I would not wait. Up to you, though. Right? So Billy will be handling one early in the year. Billy and I will be at the one later in the year. Right? This is the one early in the year. March 15th to the 23rd. Cool? That means you'll have your residency 3 months. So let's see, March, April, May, June, July. By July, you'll have your residency. It'll be done. Awesome. Your deadline to register for this, November 15th this year. Again, like Mexico, do not wait. Sign up now. Sign up as soon as you can. This shit takes time for these docs. Paraguay used to allow you to be late on your documents, and they just changed that in the summer when we were there. You have to have 100% of all the documents done, or you do not get your residency. You have to come back again. We don't want you to happen. We don't want you. We don't want that to happen to you. So sign up as soon as you are able to do it. Get that done. Get the process started with Billy. We do all your, we help you with your documents, all that stuff. We walk through the whole process, okay? We do everything we can for you, all right? sovereignCEO.io/ParaguayGR. That is the link. You can go there right now. Okay? And last but not least, residency in Armenia. Legal passport, legal residency should be residency in Armenia. Options for getting an Armenian passport. This will be in Yerevan, Armenia. There will be a mastermind with me. Optionally, pay extra for the mastermind. I will be at this event because I'm working on my passport there. So I will be there. Date of this event, February 20th, 2024 to February 29th. Okay, 9 days. Okay, that's the day of the event. Your deadline to register is January 21st, so you have a little time to wait. I wouldn't wait. I wouldn't wait. I wouldn't wait. Not a good idea to wait for this stuff. Get it done. You do have a little more time than the other events, though, because Armenia doesn't have as many docs. But still, we still have to get you registered, get things started before you go, right? sovereignCEO.io/ArmeniaGR. So we want to go for that. Lastly, CalebJones.com/events. I'm going to say it one more time. Get on that page, bookmark that page, not only for these events, but for the other events we're doing in 2024. We have planned them all. We've assigned dates for all these things, but we haven't announced them yet. So it's a method to my marketing madness. I don't want to announce 14 events all at once. I don't want to overload your brain. These are the Get Residency events. These are the most important ones. Then I have other events we're doing myself. Some other people are doing, but mostly me. Some of them are little, some of them are big. We have a big event, most likely in the United States next year. A big one. Some of you have been asking for us to do this. I'm not going to talk about it yet, but stay on that page, bookmark it, check back. That's we update that page real time. Okay. All right. Reserve your spot before it's too late for Paraguay, Armenia, Dubai, Mexico. Do not wait, especially for the Latin ones, and Dubai is coming up pretty quick too. Armenia, okay, you can wait a little bit. Okay. But if you want Paraguay, Dubai, Mexico, get on that now. I'm not kidding. Don't fuck around with this. It's bad. All right. Cool. Should we do Q&A? What are we doing over here? Yeah, we're doing okay. All right. I will put on my Scrooge McDuck glasses. Where are my glasses? Did I not have my glasses? All the way over here. Hang on. Okay. Do Q&A for a little while here. I'm bringing sexy back. Whoop! Hang on. Let me defog these fucking things. I love getting older when you're a man. When you're a high SMV man, getting older is awesome, except you can't see. Other than that, it's great. It's the opposite of being woman. Getting older as a woman, not fun. Being a man, oh, it's so good. Except this. This is the only problem. All right. Let's see here. I'm going to rewind the chatty chat. Let's see here. Is Armenia the best residency for Europeans since it's closest? That's up to you. If proximity to where you live is important, then yes, it's the best. Although Dubai is pretty close. So it really depends. There's no yes or no answer to that question. Also, since the extreme climates will be the best to move a lot of stuff in the UK. That's completely up to you. Completely up to you. It's the climate in Armenia is the opposite of Dubai. It's hot and then snowy. They have real extreme climates, which is kind of cool. Well, these days I'm gonna do Christmas in Armenia. It'll be awesome. I have Paraguay thanks to you. Cool, great. What do you think about the 10-year Thailand nomad visa? I think it's great. Watch the taxes over there. I think it's great. Is another benefit of Five Flags dating? Yes, I said that earlier. Yes. Ask a lot of other people in the audience how well they're doing in other countries. Yes. Would Instagram be more effective providing you take cool pictures and record yourself doing interesting shit? So here's the thing. In many countries, you won't even need Instagram game. So if you go to like the Philippines, which is not one of our 5 countries, you go to the Philippines, you don't need an Instagram game. You just go to a bar and say hi, and you'll be mobbed. I mean, I'm exaggerating, but not much. So it depends, for sure. If I want to offer a 12-week package to my warm leads, can I sell it to them directly, or should I offer a free consult before buying? Depends how much it is. Depends how much. If it's many thousands of dollars, then you should have a free consult. By the way, for all these Get Residency events, on all the pages, if you have questions before you buy, there's a button on all these pages to schedule a call with us to get all your questions answered before you buy. You don't need to, but it's there. And it depends on the event, on who that person is. Billy handles most of these. I handle the Dubai one. So it really depends. So you have that option too. New York City effectively outlawing short-term rental industry has the potential. Other states, yeah. Was really felt like a tap on entrepreneurship and private property. Why the fuck do you live in New York? Get the fuck out of New York. Why do you people live in New York City? Maybe you don't, and you're just reporting on it. If you live in the state of California or New York or New Jersey or any of these types of places, or London. What are you doing? Honestly, what are you doing, guys? Come on. I don't get it. I don't. The only two excuses that I've said before that are valid is you have small little children and you can't get baby mama to leave. You can't leave your kids. That's one excuse. Most of you have no kids. The only other excuse is you're really, really, really old and you have health problems because you're old. So moving to another country and relocating would be an issue. All right, fine, I'll give you that one. The vast, vast, vast majority of you live in these places do not have kids and are not old. What the fuck are you doing? I don't get it. I don't know. Do you like pain? Do you like being unhappy? Is Armenia a plastic residency card, or do you put something in your I said earlier. I'm in Dubai. What residency is better, Dubai or Paraguay? There's no better or worse. It depends what you want. What do you want? What are your priorities? Like I said earlier. Residencies are like Pokemon's. Got to collect them all. We have at least 2 or 3 guys who are doing multiple residencies on all of our services. At least 3. It's awesome. Yeah, it's great. Given the 6-month tourist rule, what is the advantage of Mexico residency over just utilizing tourist visa upon arrival? Don't you become a tax resident if you stay longer than 6 months? Yes. So my son lives, quote unquote, here in Guadalajara. He's make sure he's not here more than 181 days a year. So they don't tax him. But he has residency here. It's fine. What's the advantage? All the advantages I listed earlier. If there's a pandemic, they have to let you in. There's no ticking clock. Oh, there is a ticking clock in your case, right? You can do things like getting apartments, bank accounts, things like that. There are other benefits besides just, well, I'm saying it wrong. If you do visa hopping, you don't have residency. Yes, they won't tax you, but you get residency without them tax you too. They don't tax me. I have residency here. They don't tax me. I don't stay here more than 6 months. So the way this works, one technique is you spend time in 2 countries, half the year in one, half the year in another. Don't spend more than 181 days in any one country. You're good. It's real simple. Not a big deal. How do you fix imposter syndrome and scaling a business? That's a very hard question for me to answer because I don't have that problem. I just don't have that problem. I don't know. You have to ask yourself why you feel that way. This goes back to I'm not a psychologist. This is something having to do with your childhood or something. Why do I feel not worthy for this money? Why do I feel unworthy for these customers and this money? Why do I feel unworthy? And you have to ask yourself why you feel that way. And there's a reason. You just got to dig in your subconscious and find it. Is it still the case you can apply for an Armenian passport? Yep, I answer that. I've been trying to find an agent to assist with Paraguay residency, but it's hard to tell who is legit or not. There are a lot of horrible, shitty attorneys or people who call themselves attorneys in Paraguay and the entire Latin world. It is the Wild West. Please be very, very careful or pay someone like us to do it for you. Yeah, I just this year, I've heard 3 different horror stories, specifically in Paraguay and a few from other places. It's bad. Yeah, be careful. Is Paraguay much cheaper than Mexico? I heard Mexico's here more expensive. Yes, Paraguay is much cheaper than Mexico. I'm here in Mexico now. You know, Mexico's cheaper than the U.S., and there are many aspects that are cheaper, and there are some aspects that aren't. So when I do like Uber Eats here, I get ripped off. What the fuck is this? It's expensive. I mean, it's cheaper in the United States. But then like pharmaceuticals are cheaper in Mexico. It depends. But yes, Paraguay, way cheaper than Mexico, not even close. Oh, yeah. Just spoke to a lawyer in Armenia, and they told me I don't actually need to come to the country to get residency. They said I can just send their passport, and they will do the paperwork. Is this true? Yes, that is true. I didn't mention that because most people freak out about this. So that is true. You can get Armenian residency without even going. You have to mail your passport, and you better trust those attorneys because you may never get your passport back. So that's why I don't even recommend it as an option, but technically that is true. You do not need to physically go to Armenia. I would. I'm not mailing my passport off for 3 weeks, 2 weeks, whatever, to some random company. I'm not going to do it. You know, but yes, that is, they are not lying to you on that one aspect. That is true. You can. I just don't recommend it. Am I still a U.S. citizen? Yes, unfortunately. I got about 2 more years. Are those the dates, the only available dates for the 4 countries you're in the residency service for? No. We have more dates for Paraguay, and we have possible dates for Dubai and maybe Armenia, but I don't know what they are. So if you can't do it for those dates, no easy answers for you. No one talks about the quality of healthcare. This is more important than money. No, if you make plenty of money, you can buy any healthcare you want anywhere in the world. So you are incorrect. Quality of healthcare is very important. Yes. I live in Dubai. I have better healthcare than you do. In Mexico and in Armenia, there are clinics that are every bit as good as any amazing Western clinic you can find. Dubai, Paraguay, not so much. Simple stuff, yes, or else you have to travel a little bit. I did a whole video on getting healthcare when you're an expat. It's not a difficult thing. Since my original background is African, can I also get a passport in the particular African country of my ancestry out of my five flags? Is a good idea. Yeah, an African passport is not good for travel, but you might as well have it. I would, yes. And they're not going to tax you. It's Africa. So yeah, there's no reason not to get it. It's just not going to be a very good passport for travel. People around the world do not like African passports, but sure. If you're starting from zero, can someone potentially save up and pay for the Armenian service? Also, you can start a business. Else you have to pay start a business, LI business ASAP. Well, yeah, it's up to you. Sure, you can save up. That's fine. Here's the problem. Every year this gets harder. I don't know if in 2025 we'll be offering the same services. Any one of these countries could pass a law saying, fuck you, we're not doing this anymore. And that's happened. So the longer you wait, the harder this gets. I've said this over and over and over again. I keep telling you guys, don't wait. I don't have the money, Caleb. I understand that. Okay, I'm just letting you know the reality. The longer you wait, the harder this gets. You can't save up 3 years to do Armenia because they may not have it in Armenia. They may not have it there. That's why you got this shit. Why do you think I ran around like a maniac in 2021 getting all these residencies? Because now I have them. You know what? So if they change something, I've got them. I'm covered. I didn't want to wait. I have less than $200,000 USD and zero debt, but a little income as I transition from quitting a job location dependent. Do I have to prove any income for these, or can I just leverage my savings? Mexico is the only one. Paraguay does not care. Dubai doesn't care. Armenia doesn't care. Mexico, if you have, I don't know how much money you have. If you have a hunk of money, there is a provision for that. I don't know what the answer is. You should schedule a call. Go to the Mexico GR website and schedule a call with us, and you can ask us, and we can look up the answer for you. Maybe. If you've got like $160,000, I don't know. I don't see, maybe not though. Mexico doesn't care about how much money you have. They care how much money you make. Here's the rule. Latin America cares not about how much you have, but how much you make. Southeast Asia cares about how much money you have. They don't care what you make. So if you show, yes, I'm worth $5 million, oh, sure, come on into our country. Even if you're retired, they don't care. So it's just a different priority. So I don't know. But then otherwise, skip Mexico and do Paraguay. They don't care. Why didn't you choose Mexico City instead of Guadalajara? For me personally, I like Guadalajara much better than Mexico City for a number of reasons. It's a more livable city in my view. That's all. Mexico City is fine. I want to get out of the West again. Again, you keep getting out of the West and going back. What are you doing? If someone cannot do any of the next 4 countries within the next year, will moving to Southeast Asia and or South America be a great option first? Yes, do it. Great stream. Thank you. You're very welcome. You never talk about Brazil. Why? I just did a video about Brazil. Watch my BRICS video. Incorrect. All right. What else? Other questions? And if not, we will wrap it up. I'll take a drink of water. Do not drink tap water when you're in Mexico. Always drink bottled water or drinking water. So I do is I drink a lot of water. So once every 7-8 days, I have this big drum. I would go down to the little place, the OXXO. It's called OXXO. It's like 7-Eleven. You refill it. So don't drink out of tap water in Mexico. Anywhere, frankly. Check the technology. I'll wait another 30 seconds for more questions because I know there's a delay from when you type in the questions. CalebJones.com/events. Get on this. If you have any interest in doing this stuff, I can say this only so many times, guys. You can't wait on this. This is not a sales pitch. It is a sales pitch. But I'm right. This stuff gets harder every fucking year. Paraguay is now harder now than it used to be. Okay. Armenia is harder now than it used to be. This stuff gets harder every year. If you wait, or if you wait and don't get your documents done, you're going to be really pissed. What makes Armenia better than Georgia or Azerbaijan? Georgia is awesome. For what? For residency, it's better than all those countries. For living there, it depends on for what. Georgia's fantastic. Other than if you live in Georgia, you violate my, well, same thing with Armenia. You violate my adjacent enemy rule. Georgia borders a country called Russia. Oops. Other than that, Georgia's great. Azerbaijan, no. I would not recommend that country for a number of reasons. No, they're warlike. It's not a free country. They're pretty oppressive. No, there's some beautiful stuff in Azerbaijan, and there's some beauty there, but I wouldn't recommend it as a flag. I just don't. The niche is related to Dubai people. Cool. What are your thoughts on Cyprus? Cyprus confiscated people's personal bank accounts. Cyprus can go fuck off. I would never do business or any banking in Cyprus, ever. Hang out there for vacation, sir. Sure. Like a vacation flag? Yeah. Am I putting a single penny in Cyprus? No, I am not. You kidding? No. How long do you think these will be available? Our country is going to make these more difficult in the coming years. You read my mind. I think that question came up as I was saying it. I have no idea how long these will be available, but I just know it gets harder every year. Paraguay used to give you a passport. You could go to Paraguay, get residency, and wait 3 years. They would just hand you a passport. I'm not kidding. But then in 2019, nope. It's harder every year in every country. The only possible exception might be Dubai, because they want, that's a core part of their economic strategy, is get more people in the country. But the day will come in Dubai too. It's like, Jesus Christ, no more people. That'll happen. Even Dubai. But it'll certainly happen with Mexico, Paraguay, Armenia, all these countries. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Favorite things about Guadalajara. So if you are a single guy, these are the most beautiful women in Mexico, period, hands down, into story, period. My son lives here, and he's lived here for years, and I was having dinner with him and his girlfriend, and I was saying, God damn, I walk around the malls and stuff, and, I live in Dubai, so I'm spoiled in terms of beautiful women, but I guess I spent the last few weeks in America, so I forgot what beautiful, right? So then I come here, I'm like, God damn. And I'm not into Mexican women. It's not my favorite, but God damn, cute girls. So I said, you know what, Josh, my son, he's been unlike me. He has been all over Mexico, all over the place. I've been to a few key places. He's been all over the map in Mexico. I said, Guadalajara are the hottest women in Mexico. I wanted to see his reaction. He goes, yeah, they are. Yes. He goes, there are pockets of other places, but yeah, this is, yes. Number one. Number two, they're more chill and relaxed here than they are in Mexico City. It's a more relaxed feel here. What's interesting is I had an event here in Guadalajara a few days ago. And one of the guys spends a lot of time here. And he was talking about the difference between Mexico City and Guadalajara is that Mexico City, in terms of dating, is more of a hookup culture because there's so many women there. Whereas Guadalajara is more traditional. You'll see a lot more women. So he says, so you go to Mexico City, the women aren't as pretty. They're not nearly as pretty, but there's a lot more women at malls by themselves. You can do day game, okay? Whereas in Guadalajara, every hot girl you see has a boyfriend who's holding a hand with somebody. True. Now, that doesn't mean you can't get laid in Guadalajara, but those two reasons. And, the weather. I'm not going to Mexico City right now in August, September. No, thank you. Too hot. But in Guadalajara, it's amazing during the summer. It's cool and nice. Occasionally it rains. Who cares? I'm from Portland. I'm used to that. The weather's fantastic. It's my refuge in the summer is Guadalajara. Briefly, I know you're still doing this, but is Uruguay a superset of Paraguay? Is there any high-level trade-offs you start this time? All right. So let me talk about Uruguay really quick. I forgot to mention this. We are working on a get residency in Uruguay service. Uruguay is the shit. It's amazing. It is the Switzerland of South America. It has all the advantages of Paraguay, but it is not as rough as Paraguay. It's higher end on the economic scale. So if you don't like the rough aspect of Paraguay, I think it's a shithole, you want to go to Uruguay. Now, like Paraguay, Uruguay is not very exciting. It's pretty boring. There's one little beach resort, and that's about it. If you want exciting and fun, you go to Brazil or Argentina. You don't go to Uruguay. But Uruguay is awesome. Montevideo is a great little town. Love it to death. We are still in the process of vetting immigration attorneys in Uruguay because I do not have residency in Uruguay. It's one of the countries I don't have residency in. So Unlike the other countries, I can just use the attorneys I used and just use them. I can't do that with Uruguay. So we're vetting attorneys right now for Uruguay. If any of you watching this have legal residency in Uruguay and you're a Westerner and you work with a legal firm, an immigration firm, or a lawyer there, will you please contact me, theonlyblackdragon@gmail.com. I'll say it again, theonlyblackdragon@gmail.com. Will you please send me an email and give me the contact info for that dude or any other information, and then we can vet him and maybe use him next year. My objective for this company is to have a get residency in Uruguay service by Q3, Q4 of 2024. But we have to vet these attorneys. Like I said, attorneys is the Wild West in Latin America. You can't just say, oh, I'll do it. You pay this guy $400 and you never see him again. You can't do that. Okay. So if any of you have any actual firsthand experience, not I heard about a guy on Facebook, I'm not interested in that. Okay. If you actually use an attorney or legal firm or immigration firm in Montevideo and they worked out great and you now have residency and you're a Westerner, hit me up, let me know. Okay. They're super helpful. We're talking to a few people right now, but we have to be really careful about this because I'm going to put in my name. If I'm putting my name on this, these attorneys have to be good. And those of you who've done these events with us in the past, you know how good our attorneys are, especially our Paraguay attorneys, our Dubai, they're awesome. Our Armenia attorneys, they're amazing. They're fantastic guys. They're the best in the world. So we got to find someone like that in Uruguay. We haven't done that yet. As soon as we have that in place, I'll let you know. Cool. So I would like to have 5 countries. Now, I miss not having that 5th slot where we used to have Panama. Panama's still a really good flag, but they lost their mind, so I can't recommend them anymore hardcore. So, yeah. Will you do any more intel on getting residency in South American countries? Only Uruguay. Do you still dislike Japan? I don't dislike Japan. As a flag. I don't dislike Japan as a flag. This is a misnomer, and people keep telling me this, and no. What I've said about Japan is that their government is stupid, and it is the only nation in Asia that really is hardcore collapsing. And Japan's fucked long term. No one's having sex there. No one's having babies they don't want to. Okay. And the government goes, what should we do to fix this problem? Oh, let's raise taxes. I mean, it's just stupid. So, but as a flag, it's great. You know, Japan is one of my favorite places to visit. It's cool. It's a city, but it's relaxing at the same time, which is strange. The women in Tokyo and Osaka, my God. If you don't mind small boobs, the women in Japan are the most beautiful women in the world. Period, end of story. I mean, it's awesome. It's not perfect. I love it. Great place. And if you want to use it as a flag, sure. If you have location-dependent income, and if none of it's coming from Japan, you're careful about taxes, sure. It's fine. No problem with it. I'm just saying it's not on the upswing like most other Asian countries. That's all. That's all I said. Can you apply for a corporate or business in Dubai if you have a student resident visa? Yes, but it wouldn't help you. I do online consulting business Dubai location dependent. Yes, but it wouldn't assist you student visa. Well, I don't know how the student visa works. The answer is yes, you can. Yes, you can. Would be interested in Uruguay. A lot of people would. I know a lot of you guys would. This is a big no. That's a growth market. I want Uruguay bad. Yeah. All right. Give you guys another 20 seconds to set questions, and I gotta vamonos and get back to work. My mission is calling. This is part of my mission, but I have other parts of my mission too. Can you hear the sirens in the background? So in Guadalajara, Mexico, in any big Mexico city, you hear 2 things. When you are on the lower floors of a building, there are 2 things you hear all day: police sirens and church bells. That's what you hear all day. If there's not a police siren, it's a ding, ding, ding. We're very Catholic. Ding. Oh, here comes a cop. It's strange because in Dubai, you never hear police sirens ever. So this is a strange experience for me. You never hear police sirens ever in Dubai. You just don't hear them. You just don't, because we don't have crime in Dubai. Japan doesn't tax out of country income. I think it does. Check it out. I don't know. I don't focus on Japan, so I don't know. Probably yes. Then it'd be a bad living flag, wouldn't it? You visit there, right? Sometimes mariachis as well. La 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 la. I know a lot of those songs they play. La 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 la. All right, let's do one more question, and I gotta go. We're having too much fun here. Okay, back to work. Stop fucking around. Caleb, talking to myself and you guys. Everything I yell at you guys about, I'm yelling at myself, except the Trump stuff. I'm not that stupid. Other than that, I yell at myself. I'll give you 10 more seconds. All right, last question of the day. Oh, about Paraguay. I think Mexico also taxes out of country income. Okay, so let me cover that really quick. Taxation in all, let me cover taxation in all these countries, okay? All 4 of our countries. Paraguay is territorial tax only. They do not tax any income that comes in from outside the country. So if you have a location-dependent business, like we teach at Sovereign CEO, you can go to Paraguay, live there for the rest of your life. They will not tax you 1 penny. Awesome. Why do you think it's my second home? Wonderful. Dubai, no taxes. You don't have to worry about taxes ever. You're good to go. Armenia and Mexico both are worldwide 6-month countries, meaning if you spend more than 6 months, that's 181 days per calendar year in either of those countries, they will tax, or at least attempt to tax, your worldwide income for the year. So you don't want to spend more than 181 days per year in Armenia or Mexico if your goal is to reduce tax. Now, if you love the country and you fall in love with it, you want to live there full time, and you're willing to pay those taxes, which is far less than anything you'll fucking pay in United States, Canada, Europe, fine, go ahead. That's fine. And the taxes are much lower in those countries, but just that's how those taxes work. So those are the 4 countries. So you can do what I'm doing is you can do, half the year in Mexico, half the year in Armenia. I'm not doing that, but I do half the year sort of in Dubai and the rest of the year in Paraguay. So I don't have to worry about tax. Okay. Yes, you're an American. Yes, you have foreign earned income exclusion. So the first $120,000 is exempt if you stay out of the America, if you're only in America for more than 120 days per year. Okay. If you're a non-American, you're good to go. You don't have to worry about any of this stuff because you don't live in an authoritarian country like America. Okay. All right. What's the difference between freelance visa and business visa in Dubai? I don't know. Dubai has like fucking 13 different types of visas and they change them all the time. And I have no idea. I just don't know. Just Google it. Dubai is really complex in their visas because they want to appeal to a broad audience of people coming in the country. I get why they're doing it. But even the residency that I have, I'm not sure what they classify my residency as. I have the enhanced not permanent residency. That's 10 years. It's a golden visa. I have the next level down. So I think mine is 6 years or something. I don't know. I don't even know what my residency visa is. I don't know. Just Google it. Look it up. It's a little complex in Dubai. All right, guys. I'm going to let you guys go. CalebJones.com/events. Whatever event you're interested in, either sign up or schedule your call. Do not wait because we've had people wait too long or governments fuck up and not get their paperwork in on time and it causes problems. If you want in on any of these Get Residency events or if you want to do it yourself, great. But don't wait. I can't implore you more. I can't implore hard enough. Don't wait on this stuff. If you do it yourself, get to work on it now. If you want us to do it, sign up now. Get to rolling now. If you have questions, you can go to any of those websites, CalebJones.com/events, and you can schedule a call and get all your questions answered. You can also send us an email at theonlyblackdragon@gmail.com. Okay? But don't wait on this stuff. If you really don't want to do any of this, then don't do it. But if you have any interest, now's the time to get rolling on this stuff. Okay? Don't wait, please. I get the complaints. I get your emails. Oh, I waited and now I'm fucked. I get these things all the time. I've been talking this for years. Please don't be that. Don't be that kind of person. Make yourself happy. Cool? Cool. All right. See you guys. Have fun.